Hello everyone and welcome to session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randy Henderson and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together.
Good evening and welcome to the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Anita Walker and I'm your moderator for this evening. We will summarize and discuss Chapter 12 of Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to Present by Harriet A. Washington. First, let us start off by having each one of our reading circle members introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Georgette Moses, and I'm coming to you from the hot South, Columbia, South Carolina.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm in New York. Hi, everybody.
Yes, I'm Joel Jones, coming from Charleston, South Carolina. Hi, everybody.
Hi, this is Edwina. I'm here in Utah.
Hi, my name is Randy and I'm watching from Atlanta and currently work.
And hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Odom. I am located in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm one of the co-hosts of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. And I invite you to learn more about us on Google Plus, where we have a community page, on Facebook, where we have a group page, and on YouTube, where you can find all of the archives from our 3 books and hangouts related to those books. So welcome. We're in session 3, which is going to run through June 16th. We'll probably take a break after that, hopefully not too long, and come back with session 4. So if you'd like to be a part of the hangout, there will be an opportunity to join later on this summer.
My mentor is standing by, and he want to yell at the group, Dr. Thaddeus Bell, and this is how the Closing the Gap in Healthcare for Disparities got started through this particular book. He just want to say hi to everybody, and everybody say hi to him. His name is Dr. Thaddeus John Bell.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
In the age of technology fix, the country is heading for a genetic and behavioral control of society. Who will exercise the control? Who will make the decisions about which genes are defective and which behavior abnormal? Who will make the decisions about genetic worth and prospective human beings? Jonathan Beckwith, 1974. The positive and a negative application of genetic science are seen through the lenses of America's criminal justice system in Chapter 12, Genetic Perdition, the Rise of the Molecular Biases. Harriet A. Washington also makes case for the double-edged nature of genetic science as far as African Americans are concerned, as it has been applied in the workplace and the pharmaceutical industry. Characteristically, the dual motives of racism and profits coverage in a way that possesses special threats for Black Americans or any vulnerable or despised population. Today, our DNA, the carrier of genetic information, enables scientists through DNA fingerprinting to identify distinctive genetic similarities. Though not as reliable as fingerprints, DNA technology is used by our justice system to identify criminal offenders and potential suspects, by the pharmaceutical industry for medical innovations, and for many other current and potential reasons, including determining substantial suitability for certain types of employment. While it holds many promises, from tools that could release or convict to the troubled history of genetic disease fixes that may provide cures or mere stigmatization, genetics offers a corporal of medical and pitfalls for blacks, wrote Washington.
Edwina, would you read section H, please?
Black people were not included in the initial phases of the Human Genome Project, a massive worldwide effect begun in 1990 to map the entire human genome. Dr. Georgia Dunson lamented that severing the African branch of the family tree is a critical error because African gene pools are the oldest and consequently the most diverse on the planet due to human lives having evolved in Africa. It goes on, homogeneity, the HGP is ironic because the stirring message of the Human Genome Project data is a ringing denunciation of race, wrote Washington. Question 13, what could scientists in 1990 been thinking that would allow them to exclude black people from such an endeavor as the Human Genome Project? What is meant by the now common phrase, race is social construct? Do you understand why people mix gene colors frequently choose not to identify as black? How do you feel about their decision in making this choice? I think it's it's all based on the social level, the social class. You know, some people in Hollywood feel that way. So not just social class, economic, and we still can't forget the bad connotations that would use against black people, calling little black kids, pickaninnies, or whatever, tar babies. It's just a bag of stigma. You know, you get stigmatized, you know, and bad connotations along with saying that you're black. So a lot of black people would rather say they're black and Cherokee. And, you know, they have some other, you know, gene pool mixture. You know, I have, you know, long wavy hair, I have green eyes. Or, for instance, my children's father, he's Creole. Okay, green eyes. My kids don't have green eyes. His whole family is from, you know, Louisiana. They all have light eyes. And they really pointed that out to me, made it, you know, it was, you know, you know, that this was something special. We're not, you know, we're mixed, we're, you know, part French, you know, so there's still a lot of connotations with being associated with being, with having African heritage.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, does anyone else have any thoughts on those questions? You know, you're smiling.
I just think that if you included Africa, you may have to have a whole other talk about you thinking that you're white, because nobody is. It would just be, you know, all of a sudden you would say, okay, you white this century, but that's your people weren't. So I think there's this whole other construct. So when you talk about the construct of race, it just amazes me that you know, that we are all have some genes that are mixed together. You know, especially, you know. So, and my favorite thing is that how it is that some of the slave masters would have children with their slaves and then sell those children into slavery, and you know that those are your little white babies, you know, or biracial children. So I just find this whole construct to be insane.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think within the black elitist boule cult, I call them, because I hate to say it.
What do you call them? Okay.
The boule. I went to Spelman. Okay. You know, and you know, and there's this elitist group, and they feel that they're better than, say, the ordinary Black American, Afro-American, okay, because their parents or something might be a part of a sorority or a fraternity, or have some high position in government. But to go back to skin color, while I was at Spelman, that, you know, that had a lot to do also how you were going to pledge. Were you going to go with the deltas or the zetas, zeta 5, you know, beta, or, you know, it affected you which group you were going to pledge with to you. That was a thought you had to think about, you know, and to me, it was totally ridiculous. It's, you know, and I thought it was a big put down, you know, but it's still a problem, I think, within our own group.
Yeah.
You know, the light skin factor versus the dark skin factor. You know, I'm light, and I'm, you know, maybe, and I got a higher credit rating, so I guess that makes me special. And this person here, you know, is living on government assistance or whatever, but and this person is just not a part of society, so sort of an outcast. I think that's what I'm trying to say. You're an outcast. I came from one of those type of boule families where they were mixed like that. My mother is very fair skinned. She can almost pass. All right, but my sisters, and then the darker skinned ones the light skinned ones would discriminate. But I had family from the South that came from Hamlin, North Carolina, and they didn't play. They didn't play that. They didn't play that game.
Oh, hold up. You say from Hamlet. You from Hamlet?
My father, my father.
What's your father's name?
He's
Who are your people? I'm from Hamlet. That's why I asked.
Yeah, my father is Edward Brown. He was from Hamlet, North Carolina. Helen Brown, Catherine. I'm one of them. I'm a Brown.
Oh, Brown. Carolyn Brown.
They live, I can't explain where they live. All I remember, there was some trailer houses, shotgun houses, and so forth, near some cotton fields and tobacco fields, and that's where I used to spend my summers in Hamlet, North Carolina. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right now.
Yeah, I just left Hamlet. Yeah.
So let me just say, really, it is fashionable these days to say that race is a social construct, and what's meant by that is when they finally mapped the genes, it was clear that there's not enough difference in people of different skin colors to justify calling us a different race. The difference doesn't meet that threshold. However, Harriet Washington points out, and she says it early in the book, that she has stayed with the language of black and white because that is how we have come to understand it in this country. We kind of know what we mean when we say that, and the problems that she is describing in this book are based on the social construct of race that has been advanced in this country, at least. So, so that's one point. Another point is that, for me personally, I think however someone wants to define themselves is their business. And I don't want anyone to be defined as black if it's not something that they can feel good about, because we have enough problems. And Melissa Harris Perry, for example, who is half and half, I think, had a cow. I mean, I don't watch much TV, but sometimes I turn it on and I see these amazing things. And she actually had a cow. I don't remember the exact situation, but I think somebody called her black. And she just went off, I'm so tired of people talking about black.
Wow.
Race is a social construct.
Yes.
Okay, Melissa, we won't make that mistake again. But I have a grandson who has a one white parent and one black parent. Guess which one I donated? And you know, he's gonna have to decide where he wants to stand on the issue. But you know, I really think it's up to you. But really, what I think is along the lines of what Edwina was saying about, you know, this need for superiority is, in the final analysis, I believe what we're going to find is it doesn't matter what color you identify with, because still we are living in a world where people have this need to feel superior to each other, to somebody, to anybody. And so, you know, as I have said to you all before, if they wiped off every black, if all the black people on the earth were wiped off of it, white people would still have to figure out how to get along with each other, because somebody would have to be the nigger.
There you go.
Well, if I may, I find it interesting, you know, because you're talking about racial, you know, construct. I was reading something in history, one of my history classes, that racism really didn't come into play until after the fall of the Roman Empire, because Romans, they basically, when they, you know, they had the empire for a couple of thousand, they basically looked at people about their trade, you know, where they come from, you know, what type of work that they do, and they looked at people like that because, you know, slavery was totally different. You know, they believe in blending people in, and only until the Germanic tribes and from Europe came in until they got this light skin, dark skin crap. Okay, now, you know, as far as your racial sovereignty is only what other people allow it to be. You know, that's the only way that's going to happen. Whatever someone else say it is what it's going to be. You know, so you might as well just deal with, you know, like you're talking about your grandchild or whatever. It's what other people around him is going to allow him to be from the outward side. You know, is who he going to be. They don't know. They don't have that choice. You don't make that choice. The society you live in makes that for you.
Right, and Barack Obama found that out, didn't he?
Well, I don't think he ever really. He probably already knew that. I mean, he seemed like a pretty. He knew exactly where. If you ever want to know how much power a president has, look at Barack Obama. That lets you know how much constitutional power he has. That's the baseline from here on out. And we know that a president. I asked my son that question. How much power do you think the president really has? Not that much. He'll tell you not that much. We see Barack Obama. We see how much power he's allowed to have, and that's by Constitution. That, you know, that's how much power he has, and which it might be a good thing, but how much power does he really? How much influence does his presidency actually have? Well, what they're really scared of is how many white kids that are 8 or 9 years old ever seen a white man as president. That's very powerful. And then if you look at, if Hillary gets in, you might have a kid that might be 12 or 13 that's white that never seen a white man be president. So what does that do for those people who are against women or who are against other people? And you got this kid that's up there that says, well, yeah, you saying that we're superior and everything, but hell, we ain't never been president. I'm 16 years old. You know? So, you know, that's my 2 cents.
I don't think they're going to have to worry about that.
But symbolically, it's very
important.
I understand the constructs, and it's funny because at one point white people was a very select group, and now, you know, Italians have become white people, and Jewish people are now white people, and before you know it, Hispanics will be white people, and we will be the only. There's some blacks, but the one thing that I wanted to say in terms of what Edwina was saying was the internalized racism and the post-traumatic slave syndrome. Those are just so huge, and I'm just so glad you brought both of them up, that there's this whole internalized structure that we're trying to do to each other the same things that are done to us. So I just wanted to thank you, Edwina, for bringing that up.
You're welcome.